Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. Hope everybody is doing well today. I have a video, it's kind of a process video. I am going to make a needle book, and honestly I've never made one before, but I've seen a lot of people do them, and I'm going to kind of do it my way. And if you guys would like to come along on the journey, you're welcome to. I'm trying to make these as gifts. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. You know, honestly, I've seen a lot of different ways, but I think I'm going to try and do it the easiest way possible while still trying to make it look really, you know, special, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I have two vintage quilts that I have, pieces of quilts. I have this one. This is a really, really old one. It's got a lot of bad spots on it, but I think I can cover them up. And this one is not that old, but it is really, really pretty on the inside and the outside. And I'm wanting to make the cover out of these quilts pieces, because I thought I want it to be soft and I want it to be flexible, but I actually need it to be a decent size. The scissors that I'm putting in these are these that I bought. I recently, I don't know if you're going to see the haul before this or after, but it came with 4 different kinds, and they're really, really sharp, and they're great, great scissors. But anyway, it also came with this little pouch thing. It's a leather, and I want to make sure that this will fit in there comfortably. And I also have some different doilies and things that I'm actually going to use as part of the pages in this. So I'm not exactly 100% sure how I'm going to do it, but I think I have kind of an idea. I also have, this is like a quilting batting felt, and I want to use it because I love the color. I love how soft it is, and I'm wanting to use that on the inside for some of the pages. And on the outside, I bought this other felt, and I actually thought that this would be softer. It could be used. I think I'm going to wash some of it and see if it turns out softer, but it's a little stiff because it's pretty thick. It's actually really nice felt. But I am actually going to use this for the first part of what we're doing. So let me show you first off. My idea here is I want to take all of my scraps, and I have a lot of them, and I basically want to try and use a bunch of my scraps. I have this box, oops, I just dropped the top, and it has all of these just scrap pieces, and there's some just kind of that I've thrown in there. And I have more in another box too, but just to give you an idea how much I have, because I have so much, guys, so much. And I would really like to use a lot of this type of stuff on this needle book, okay? So what I think I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to cut it to the size that I want it. And quite honestly, I want it a little bit bigger than this little doily thing. I don't even know what it is. It might be like a pot holder because it has like a little hanging thing on it. But it's been washed, but it has some stains because it is very vintage. But I think I'm going to try and figure out what part of this I'm going to have to use. There's going to probably be a little left over. This is like the edge here. So, and I want it bigger. So I think I'm going to have to make it, yeah, you know. So what I think I'm going to do is, let me try and straighten that out a little bit. Oh, and it's this beautiful pattern, and it's really pretty. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and use these scissors, and I'm just going to cut it out bigger than I need it, and then I can trim it out later. So that's going there. And these are my material scissors, but these are pretty thick quilt, so. And the reason I'm using a quilt is that it's already kind of has batting in it. And I do have like a lot of old quilts. I'm lucky enough when I go to thrift stores, that's something I look for. I don't, even, you know what else you can use is like, you'll find a lot of times you'll find little placemats that are quilted. So that's going to go right here. Boy, this is not cutting well, so I don't know. I might have to break down and get me some more. Okay, so let me kind of just keep going with that. Like I said, this is just the preliminary cut. Boy, this is not cutting well. I wonder if my other ones will cut better than that. My Tim Holtz ones. I know Tim Holtz has some haberdashery ones or whatever. Yeah, I guess those scissors are just shot. I must have used them on things I shouldn't have. I do try and keep them separate, so. Okay, so that isn't going to work, so I'm going to have to go underneath that. I think that's going to be enough. Let's see. All right. Yeah, that's good. That is good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. And move those scissors somewhere. Okay, so definitely I will use this. I'm going to be making some smaller ones, and definitely we will probably use some of these pieces, and I'm not going to throw that away for sure. Okay, so this is the actual size that it's going to end up being, and it's, you know, it's a little bigger than what I think some people make, but at the same time it's not huge. Let me see. I don't know. I don't think I need to do that because I'm going to be sewing around it. So I'm going to try and cut on this line so that helps me kind of make it a little bit straighter. And there, that's good. And I think we'll go here on the pink line. And then I think what I'm going to have to do on the top is just kind of mark it. All right. Okay. So that is a lot straighter. And let's see. Okay. So let's go right here. And I'm just using the lines that are already in the quilt so that it can help me kind of straighten it. I don't need it to be perfect because we're going to be sewing around it and putting trim. And then the bottom. This is really bad down here. So, and this doesn't have a line, so I'm going to kind of just kind of do it by looking at it, and then I will definitely have to go back in and work with that because it is crooked. Here we go. So I hope everybody is doing well. I was actually on vacation when you saw a lot of my latest videos, and I'm getting ready to go on another little trip with my 90-year-old father to visit my brother in Washington State. We were just in Colorado, and it's really nice to get away from the Texas heat because it was hot here. Okay, I think that is pretty close to good for what I need it for. A little bump right there. There we go. All right, so that's about the size that we're going to need. This is going to go as a page in the inside, probably in the very middle. Like that. And I am going to sew around it. I'm going to put some trim. Some of my pages are going to be kind of like this. I may do them like that, though. I could do them like that and then just put them together. I'm not 100% positive. I'm thinking, how big do I need them? I don't know. I could do them like this and then just join them together, and I may do that. So I don't know yet, guys. Not 100% sure. If I do that, and I don't really know. I don't think I need a lot of pages, but let's see here. If I did that, I would need these. I want them about the same size as this. So I am going to measure this. It's about 6 inches this way. So if I did these 6 inches, let's see here. Now I might do it with this, because let's see how they look with my pinking shears. Might look a little better. Yeah, I think it does actually. Because I don't know if I'm going to put any kind of trim or anything on these. You can use any kind of felt or even material that you want to use. I just have this on hand. So I'm kind of, trying to use things I already have. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. All right. I don't know if I'm going to recut the sides, because I'm going to have to join those together somehow. I'll do the other ones later, but basically my idea would be to put these together and then probably use like, let me get my lace or trim over here, like some, let me see if I have anything wide enough, just some pretty different laces and trims and things like that, and put those together, right, like that, and then they will go right in here. So this will be like that, in the middle. This is a page, this is a page, and I'm going to put these pieces together using some lace or trim, okay? And then the next one will be the same. And I may alternate different doilies and things like that in there. So this would be like maybe here, and then this could be maybe here, you know, with this in the middle, and then maybe put a couple more. So these have to be 6 inches is what I'm doing. So, and they don't all have to be the same size. I mean, definitely not. You know. I am just, of course, save these for another smaller book, right? Because I am going to make some smaller ones. But I wanted to make these because I specifically have something in mind for that. And oops, here we go. All right, so then we would have, okay, let's say we did that, and then we could have some more pages here, right? And then maybe another lace or a trim. Let's find something else. Got this. Let me get that open. Like you could put that there, right? And then that would hold them together. And it would look pretty at the same time. Anyway, that's kind of what my idea was on putting this together. And then it would be, you know, it'll be chunky by the time you put things in it. But that's what I'm going to do for that. On this part, I think this, I'm not sure if I'm going to make this where I put things in or make it decorative and put buttons or whatever, but I kind of just like the way it looks right there. But this is thick enough that I could definitely put things in here too, and I probably will. I'm gonna put a few things in there, but that is my idea. Let me cut that because I am going to use that. And of course I'm going to probably put trim and things like that all the way around the edges, you know, different things like that. So that is my idea there. But one of the first things that I want to do, and part of the reason I'm doing this is, as I told you, I'm going on another little trip. It's just for 7 or 8 days, but I'm really excited about it. Getting to spend some time with my dad, and he doesn't live in the same city that I do, so I don't get to see him very often and when I do, it's not for very long. So I'm very, very excited about that. But you know, there's a plane ride, we're going to do that, and there's going to be I'm sure a lot of downtime. We've rented a nice little house, and I think it'll be fun. But I like to craft when I'm away because it's just something I do. I have a hard time like sitting still. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to put a heart on the front of this. And I actually made several hearts trying to figure out what size I wanted. I'm having a hard time making up my mind what shape I want. Do I want a really big one? Do I want one about this size? I don't know, guys. I just don't know. So anyway, I kind of decided I want a big one because you'll be able to see this here, and then this all in here. So what I'm going to do is I made several hearts. You know, the old way. Remember how you just drew it and cut them out, and I tried different sizes and shapes out. And so one of the things that I want to do is I have this stiffer felt that I bought, and I actually did this for journal covers, and I'll be making some with this later, and you'll see they turn out really cool. Let's see, what I want to do though is I want to copy this on here. I'm going to just do it with my black pen so you guys can see. You know, I'm just going to trace it on here. Oops. And my idea with this is I am going to try and use a lot of my scraps and fill in this heart with my different lace and things, trim stuff for this cover. And this is the perfect type of felt to do that with because you can cut it out and it stays stiff, but yet you can definitely sew through it. You could do this on material. You don't need felt to do it, but it just is handy to have it. Anyway, so here is my heart. And what I'm going to do with that, guys, is I am going to just take a lot of my little pieces that I have. Now, some of these are not real little, some of them are bigger, but I have a ton. And I'm just going to start, like, you know, putting them on here and filling it in. I almost have to take a bunch out so I can see what I have to work with. It's kind of hard to do it when they're all in, you know, when it's all in a bag. And I usually separate them out by color. There's a few pieces in here that don't belong in there, but so what I will do is I will just go through and take some of these. Let me move that up and just kind of, and I want to keep the shape, so you want to be kind of, you know, decide, like you want, like, see, you would want to put this maybe right here, maybe put that, you know, anywhere it'll fit to where it goes on, keeps the shape. So let's see here. I am going to use my 3-in-1 glue. I probably, no, not probably, I will go in and sew this when I'm done putting all these pieces down. Kind of the same way I make like a snippet. But at the same time, I do like the idea. Let me see where my wipes are over here. Oops, that thing fell. I do like the idea that it'll kind of be, you know, set down. Now, if you don't want to use any glue, you could definitely just pin these down or something, but and it doesn't matter if they go over the edge a little, because honestly, guys, you know, that's what's going to make it look cool. So we're just going to do that. And I try, if I pick up a piece of lace, I try to not put it all in one place. It's the only thing that I really try hard not to do. I try and kind of get it all over. I'm using some of the flatter pieces on the bottom. And to be honest with you, I don't know that I'm going to add a lot of pink to this because I don't think I'm going to add. I'm going to put a little bit of pink in there, but not a lot. I want it to kind of be a little bit more neutral. So it's kind of the pieces I'm picking up. So I'm trying to do the outline first. And you can always go back in and kind of like snip off edges. Not a big thing. So, and that is all I'm doing here. And this is just going to go on the front. And I'm probably going to put some buttons on there. And I think some other things. But I just am right now trying to fill this in. So I thought this would be a fun little video to watch. And then I will show you what I put together, how I do that. You'll see that. I'm probably going to sew it like I showed you how I was going to do it, and then I'll show you the next part where we add all the little pockets and things like that. So this is probably going to be about a 3-part video. I don't want anybody to think it's going to be a one and done. Now this is the part that's probably going to be a little bit harder right here. So I'm going to have to find probably some thin lace like this. Or I can, I always can cut it. That's not an issue, right? And I do like to put different kinds because I do think it makes it look better. All right, let's try this. There's a little piece right here. And I'm going to put that right here. And I will put that right there. It doesn't really matter how you do this because it will eventually, I promise you, look good. Kind of hard to mess it up. And of course I'm layering these on top of each other, so all this glue is going to do is tack it down, and then later I'm going to sew it, and that will make sure they all stay down. Put that right there. And I'm still trying to, keep my heart shape in there, so. But all this glue is doing is it's helping me just kind of keep it in place long enough. And if I see too much glue, then I'm just taking my wipe and picking it up. So I'm going from the outside in. And I don't have a real plan. I'm just kind of going like that. Well, I don't think it liked me doing that when it wasn't dry. I'll deal with that later. And of course I have lots of different kinds, so I can certainly put different things in different places. So anyway, so we're going on this little trip, and I'm making the needle book because I'm going to do a lot of hand sewing in it. as far as finishing off all the pieces. And I thought that would be a great thing to take, you know, with me, because I can actually work on it, you know, while we're driving on the plane. I probably won't be able to bring my scissors, but I can certainly get some there. And I'll have to look and see what size scissor. I know you can bring them now, but they just can't be very big. Anyway, I don't really need that. I just gonna kind of have to get everything in place so that I can sew these. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do all the rest of the sewing by hand or if I'm going to do some with the sewing machine. You know, I haven't really made up my mind yet. So some of it I may do with the sewing machine. Like, I do think I'm probably going to go around the edges with a stitch around the edges, and I may sew in the pages, but I think like putting all the pockets and the buttons and all the other stuff in there, I'm going to do all that by hand. So that's my big reason for doing it. This now is to have this to do. So I don't know how much I, will get done ahead of time, and I'm actually going to try and do 2 of them, but I'll probably only do 1 with you guys because you'd get bored if I did more than 1, I'm sure. You may get bored with just 1, I don't know. So, but anyway, that's what I'm doing. And if you've recently been watching my channel, I told you that I really am trying to do my channel more geared toward things I'm doing, and just bring you along with me, Here I'm just taking, these are all my scraps, and I'm just taking little pieces and kind of just, putting them down. So, just, kind of, I don't like the same kind too close together. I like to have them kind of spread around, and that's kind of the way I do this. And I like to have different colors and different textures and things like that moved all over so that it looks different. So that's kind of my goal. And I probably am going to put buttons on this too. I have some antique buttons, and I think that would look really pretty. But I will hand sew all of those on. But you can definitely see this was coffee dyed, and a couple of those pieces are too dark, so I'm cutting them off. But I do like having the different colors and the different textures and things like that. So I will just dig through my pile and find different things. I don't know if I want that. When I get toward the top, I get a little pickier because you're going to see that. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking for kind of unique pieces. And I also want to cover up any glue that I have that I may not, any spots or things like that. I think we need more down there. So anyway, this is just, I thought, would be something fun to take with me, and also fun to do something different. This is, I think this is going to be a present for someone, and I think it kind of depends on how it turns out. But my goal is to work on this, you know, when I have time, and try and get it all done. This is for Christmas. This is all for Christmas. And I have learned, if you haven't started making things in August, you're not going to make them, because it just never happens. And I really enjoy doing it, but I don't always have time. I'm probably not going to do that many Christmas journals this year, even though I have a ton started, just because time-wise, I really don't think I'm going to have it. I'm hosting several things at my house, and I just don't think that is going to allow me a lot of time to be making journals. So unless it, now of course if I make them like in October or something like that, then maybe I'll do them. But you know, that's a big maybe. So I really have probably too much on my plate already planned. I volunteered to do some things, and I'm like, ugh, why did I do that? At the time, I felt like, oh yeah, sure, no problem, you know, but yeah, probably should not have done that. Okay, this is a pretty piece right there. I might cut that in half. So we're almost done. There's a few pieces here and there I see that we could do that would be really pretty and add some more texture. You know, and I'll probably go back in. I'm never happy with anything, and change it up a little bit, but you know how that goes. But for the most part, and I'm not going to cut this to make it look perfect, because that's not the goal, but I will trim it a little bit if it's, you know, sticking out too much. But anyway, guys, that is kind of how I'm going to do it, to give you an idea. And then that will be something that I put on the front. I'm not sure what the front is going to be, like that. I do have buttons I probably put in there. See if I can get those down without making a huge mess. Let's see here. I have a ton of beautiful buttons, so I will definitely be putting some of these. I'm actually even thinking about going around the edge. I have a ton of really small buttons, guys, tons of them. And I'm thinking about doing that and going around the edge with that, just different ones. I think it would be really pretty. And then maybe doing kind of a bigger one in the middle. Again, I'll do it all by hand, so you know, just something like that. I think that would be really, really nice. Yeah. I just have so many tiny ones. I think, and these are all like antique buttons. A lot of them are mother of pearl. Even put that in the middle. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do around the edges. So that is probably going to be the front of my journal, like that. Okay. I may add, I see a few little pieces in there that I might want to add some things to. I don't know if I'm going to put any pink in there or not. I might go back in and do a couple of little pieces here and there of a very, very light, like something like this. I'm just not real sure because I think I don't want that. I'm definitely going to be putting some trim around the edges. The other thing is I'm going to have to figure out, and I do have this ribbon here, about a closure. Let's take that off for a minute before I, sew it all together. And I'm thinking that I may see, I have this beautiful, just plain white satin ribbon, and I'm thinking about just putting that in the middle, right there, right? And then just having that like that. Or I may put it on the outside since we have the heart there, right? And the heart would cover a lot of that up. It would be right there. And then have that go around. All my buttons are falling off. But have that go kind of like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sew this on here, and then sew it on there, and then it'll be a really nice closure for that. I think that would be really pretty. And I think that's probably all we're going to have time to do today. I will probably go ahead and put the buttons all the way around. I will sew around the edges. Then I'm going to look through my different laces and trims, and I'm sure that I will find some beautiful lace and things that I will put on the edges. I might even do that around here. I'm not sure yet though. I'm just not 100% sure what I'm going to do. But I do know I will put something around the edges. Okay, all around here. So I will do that, and I don't know if I'm going to do that by hand or if I'm going to do it by machine. I will sew this a little bit just to kind of get it to make sure it stays down. And let's see. And all of this, I'm going to go ahead, I will put these together. So the way I'm going to do these is I may glue them and sew them. I may glue these together and then go back and sew on each side, which I think would make sure they hold really well. And do, all four of these and put them in there. In addition to that, I'm going to have to do like some pockets and things like that for this, for like the scissors and things like that. So that part of it, I think I'm going to do all of that by hand. And I will probably make some pockets, like just put some lace and trim and things like that in there for that. Let's see if this, like I could, maybe just do something here. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. This part, like I said, I have to decide if I'm using this just to decorate or if I'm going to add things to this or not. We'll see, because I think I'm going to have plenty of room without it, but we will see. And anyway, that will go on the inside, and this will be it. So the size of this is, let's see, it is 7 by 5. So it's a pretty good size. It's really pretty big. So, you know, it's probably bigger than I originally thought I was going to do it, but I kind of is all about this. And so this is what I thought it would be really fun to make one. Anyway, so that's all I've got for today, guys. And then, as I said, I will have some of this pre-done because so much of it's going to be by hand. And then I will show you part 2. I don't know when that'll come, because it may come after I get back. Because if I'm going to do a lot of this on my trip, you may have to wait for that. So anyway, this is part 1 of the needle book. And part 2 will come, you know, when I get a lot of the inside done. And then part 3 will be the finishing. So like I said, I don't know when those will come. So the best thing to do is subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when another video comes up. And I will see you all soon. I hope you all are doing well and having a nice summer. I have had a pretty busy summer. I mean, I haven't, you know, hadn't really planned on that, and it turned out that way, and I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's been kind of hectic. So not a bad thing, but at the same time, I'm kind of at an age where I don't like too much too many things going on. So it gets kind of hard for me to keep up with all the different things, so, and doing the YouTube and all that. But that's why I'm kind of doing this, so I can have a take along with me. So I will see you guys soon, and you take care, and I hope everybody is doing well. I am kind of like on vacation, so when you see this, I will be on vacation. So I'm not necessarily answering all my comments right away. I will try and get to them, but it's probably not going to be in real time, like when my video comes up and stuff like that. So be patient with me, because, you know, everybody deserves a vacation away from everything. So I'm recording these ahead of time so that you guys can have something to see. And then when I get back, I'm going to try and catch up on all of the comments and any questions and things like that if I can. All right, we'll see you again soon. Take care, guys.